DJ, thank you. That was a wonderful old school song. Thank you, Steve Wonder. Please, lost but found. If it is yours, please approach me to collect it, or when you see me later, I hand over to you. Thank you. Event of this magnitude goes with all of this. And we appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the grace to see the light of today. Is a long way coming, and we say welcome home to this school that gave birth to all of us, or rather most of us here in this hall. It is a college that has a touch of not just history, but a touch of light that made us outstanding among our peers when we all started about the same year in 1921. We would like to appreciate all of you one more time as we wait for the arrival of our special guest, guest of honors, the Royal Father of the Day, to come in for us to start our program. Remember, we have to give them that honor of respect to kickstart this event. In the meantime, I would like to, I'm not really going to be the key anchor of this wonderful event. I'm just going to be a co-anchor. But I want to use this opportunity to introduce to you our key anchor, who will take over the microphone, and in between time and time, I fall in to say a word or two. And he's going to talk to you about why this event and why we took our time to gather all of you here seated, and why we chose the topic for this year as investing in Nigeria's greatest asset. If you ask me, it is indeed a wonderful topic that actually come at the right time, because when you talk about investing in the country's greatest asset, we are talking about something of value, something of significance, something of greater effect for the future of our country. You could not clap for me now. Is it easy to actually stand up and speak? So that's simple, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, with all due respect, protocols will be taken by roll call later. Permit me to introduce to you one of our very own brainiacs, one of our very own product, one of our very own breed from the citadel of the college that gathered us here, BAREWA College. Put hands together for our National Publicity Secretary, Professor Nasiruddin Usman, MNI. He's going to be your key anchor. Thank you. Okay, our guest of honor is here. Please, can we please rise up for honor and respect, please? Thank you.
national anthem, please. The national anthem. The chairman of this occasion and chairman BOBA Board of Trustees, His Excellency General Yakubu Gawan, B783 GCFR, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, Member Board of Trustees BOBA, B2612, the representative of the special guest to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, here ably represented by Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad. Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad is representing the special guest of honor. The National President, BAREWA All Boys Association, Engineer Dahiru Ibrahim. Sir, you're welcome to. And our immediate past National President, a member of our Board of Trustees, respected Elder Alhaji Umaru Abdul Mutallab. We have on the high table one of the recipients of honors today, His Excellency Chief Cornelius Adebayo. He was a former governor of Kwara State. Members of our Board of Trustees that are here, I recognize Alhaji Lawal Garba, the National Vice President 1, BAREWA All Boys Association, and my boss, General Alwali Georgi Kazir. I recognize Engineer Mohammed Apagana, former Minister FCT. I can also see the former governor of my state, Alhaji Babangida Aliyu, the Talbamina. I find distinguished Senator Kaka Shehu, representing His Excellency the Governor of Borno State, Professor Bahana Bukar Zulum. I see Major General A.T. Jibrin, representing the Honorable Minister of Defense. So many ministers are represented. So many other people are represented. I can see the Makama of Suleja, representing His Highness, the Emir of Suleja. I see the Grand Kadi of Bauchi State, who is also here with us. Our own engineer, Bag, Aligoni, sorry, sir, is representing on behalf of the National Executive Committee of BAREWA All Boys Association and the planning committee of this lecture. May I most sincerely apologize to all of you for the challenges we found ourselves this morning. Honorable Minister of Health and Social Welfare, I did not forget you because you brought us all here. You brought us all here. So I did not forget you. I wanted to keep you last. Not because your BAREWA number is 5104. We must sincerely apologize for the challenges we faced this morning. We had paid Nikon Luxury more than 3 months ago for this conference. We had everything, we had all assurances that all was going to be there. Unfortunately, we got disappointed just in the early hours of this morning. We were lucky to get a space at Sheraton. So we must sincerely apologize to all of you, especially our esteemed award recipients. We had planned everything that you have your own seats and this thing, but on the other turn, I now say this is BAREWA. If BAREWA does not show this power, who else will do it? So, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed went to Government College, JSS Zaria, Al Huda College. But the beauty about the Baba Ahmed family, for those of you that will see the brochure we have, you find that we have a 1958 picture of the staff and students of BAREWA College. And you will see one gentleman in Al-Kebba, well-dressed. Those who don't know, my father, Alhaji Baba Ahmad, was by all standards my father. Alhaji Baba Ahmad had 19 of his 31 children in BAREWA College. But only his first son, late Aminu Baba Ahmed, attended BAREWA. Because at the time Aminu went to BAREWA, or you did too, sir? Okay, sir. Yes, sir. So that's a witness to the Baba Ahmed family. And I asked Dr. Hakim, why is it that members of your family didn't go to BAREWA? He said the reason was, Baba said, in BAREWA, I train and discipline and mold the children of others. I don't want to show my children. Let them go and be trained and molded elsewhere as I'm doing for the children of others. We are a little behind time. The MC of this occasion is Professor Nasruddin Usman, the National Publicity Secretary of BOBA. Once again, we sincerely apologize for the hitches and all the inconveniences you have encountered. We have in our midst to give us the opening prayer today no other person than the district head of Zungur in Bauchi State. As you would know, one of the persons we are honoring today is Malan Saadu Zungur. In the brochure, he was described as the father of opposition politics in northern Nigeria. So may I humbly request the Imam and district of Zungur to give us the opening prayer. The Imam, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت ورحمت وباركت على سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم إنا نسألك الخير كله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ونعوذ بك من الشر كله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ببركة سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه ببركة سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها ولا تخذنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. Ya Ubangiji Allah ka albarkanci wannan taro. Ubangiji Allah waɗannan shugabanni da suka rike suka fito daga Barewa kwaleji waɗanda suka riga mu gidan gaskiya Ubangiji Allah ya gafarta musu. Waɗanda suke da rai kuma Ubangiji Allah ya taimaka mana tare da su. Dukkan musibobi da yake samun ƙasar nan ya Ubangiji Allah mun tuba gare ka muna roƙon ka daidaita mana al'amuran. Ya Ubangiji Allah mun yi ƙanƙan da kai gare ka, mun nitsu muna roƙon rahamanka ka taimaka mana. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka antas sami'ul alim wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim. Subhan rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Mr. Chairman, I crave your indulgence to again apologize, particularly to the representative of His Highness the Emir of Zazzau, my birthplace. The Emir was supposed to be here because his family is one of those being honored today. He's ably represented because he's out of the country, like you know, Your Highness. His Highness is being represented today by the Magajingar in Zazzau, which has been the family title of the family of Alhaji Nuhu Bamali for almost 60 years now. Your Royal Highness, the Magajingari, we welcome you to this occasion. And then last but not the least, I must mention the chairman of the planning committee that has worked so tirelessly to bring all of us here. It's no other person than Alhaji Abubakar Mamu, CON, a retired federal permanent secretary. He retired as a federal permanent secretary. They went to BAREWA in 1959. I was not born then. So Alhaji Mamu, please, can you stand up for recognition? He's the chairman of the planning committee. Thank you, sir. Professor Nasruddin will continue with the rest of the program.
Thank you very much, our able Secretary General, AVM Ibrahim Shafi, retired. Let me assure everybody that what Nikon Luxury did to us will not go unpunished. Luckily, our Secretary General is not only a retired soldier, but a distinguished lawyer. And we must make sure that every suffering each and every one of us suffered is avenged, but in a legal way. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, sir, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of BAREWA All Boys Association, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, who also is the Deputy Chairman of the Board of Trustees, may I respectfully stand on the established protocol for want of time. If you look at the program of events, the third item on the agenda is recognition. And my senior, the Secretary General, has done part of that. But it would be unfair to those distinguished, eminent people who are here to go unrecognized. So I will try as much as I can to abridge the time by making a quick recognition of the dignitaries here present. Already the chairman of the occasion has been recognized. Our own distinguished general, the former head of state, a doctor of philosophy, Grand Commander of the Federal Republic, the chairman of the Board of Trustees, probably best described by the legendary Hausa musician, Alhaji Dr. Mamman Shata. Those of us who recall the song of Alhaji Mamman Shata on the general, it summarized who he was at that time and who is still at the moment. When he said, Mutumin kirki, Yakubu Gawan, shugaba mutumin kirki dan dattijo. And I think if there are some experts, I should sing it, sir. Awan Allah, Yakubu Gawan mutumin kirki dan dattijo. Those of us who are versed in Hausa language, for each word, Bawan Allah, it means a lot, ascribed to a person. His name, Mutumin Kirki, tells a lot. Then the Tijo not a function of age, but a function of wisdom, a function of humility. That was General Yakubu Gawan then, and that is Yakubu Gawan now. You're welcome, sir. The Deputy Chairman of the Board of Trustees, His Eminence, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, Commander of the Federal Republic, distinguished member of the National Institute, the Sultan of Sokoto, and the father of all of us. You're welcome, Your Eminence. We also have on the high table our special guest of honor, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, who is unavoidably absent, but most ably represented by his Senior Special Assistant in charge of political affairs in the person of Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed. You're welcome, sir. We have a former president of the association, a distinguished elder statesman. And anybody who claims to be in the business community in this country and doesn't know this name, he should find somewhere else. Alhaji Umar Mutallab, he is here with us, and you're welcome, sir. Our own current president, Engineer Dahiru Ibrahim, who is the president of BAREWA All Boys Association and the host of all of us. You're welcome, sir. We have one of the recipients and a distinguished old boy, a former governor of Old Kwara State, in the person of Chief Colenius Adebayo. You're welcome, sir. And finally, on this side of the divide, the person that we are all here to listen to. I'm sure we're not here to have the lunch. Many of us will have better lunches in their houses, but we've come to listen to the golden voice of the distinguished Honorable Minister and Coordinate Minister for Health and Social Welfare to tell us Why is it that this present government cowed him living a more luxurious job with fat pay, just like the president said some time ago, to come and serve his country? The Honorable Minister for Health, in the person of Professor Pate, you're welcome, sir. I have a bunch of papers for recognition, but I think if I'm to go through all these papers, we'll spend the rest of the day without going into the main items for the day. So I will crave the indulgence of all those distinguished personalities who are here with us. Some of them have already been recognized by the Secretary General. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I wish to recognize each and every one of us that has found time to be here with us. We welcome and we thank you very much, including, of course, our members of the Board of Trustees, our members of the Board of Patrons, our members of the National Executive Committee, and particularly the distinguished recipients, particularly the posthumous recipients whose families are here with us to share in the joy of recognition of their departed ones, and to assure them that it is not only them that fill their absence. BAREWA College does, BAREWA All Boys Association does, and certainly the nation does fill their absence. I cannot generalize. A distinguished member of the Board of Trustees, a distinguished professor in the person of Professor Sakanu, has found time to be here all the way from Zaria, and I must particularly recognize his presence here. Professor, you're welcome. Please. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so as we move, if there is need, we will continue to make specific recognition of those who are here with us. At this point, it's my honor and pleasure to invite our president, the president of BAREWA All Boys Association, in the person of Engineer Ibrahim Dairu, BAREWA 1138, to come and give us the welcome address. Mr. President, sir.
Mr. Chairman of this occasion, in the person of the Chairman of our Board of Trustees, former Head of State, General Yakubu I, members of the Board here present, distinguished speaker. I don't want to call him a guest speaker because he's one of us. So I think I welcome you all, members of the National Executive Committee, senior members of the association, many of them present today. For the first time, well, not for the first time, but at least on one of the rare occasions when some of my classmates are present. I think I have two of them around. Chief Ekini Yarumasu, Captain Owokra Dedeji. Dedeji is here. Thank you very much for the support, and I'm really proud that you're here with me. Thank you very much. It's not a day of speech, long speeches, especially considering the delays we had in getting this program started. So I would like to thank you very much for being here. I also apologize on behalf of the National Executive Committee and BOBA in particular for all the inconveniences caused in the change of venue and the lack of space to accommodate a lot of members who should be on this high table. So we are here to listen to the Honorable Minister Muhammad Ali Fati, BAREWA 5104, and I'm sure you will pick up a lot from his experience all over the world. He's an international figure, and like the announcer said, it was really a great sacrifice for him to come and serve this nation. We are proud of him as a member of BOBA, and we will welcome him and will listen attentively to his address. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Please enjoy and digest the lecture. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for these words of blessings. My attention has been drawn to the fact that His Highness the Emir of Bauchi and His Highness the Emir of Misau both have sent distinguished representatives to represent them at this great occasion. It's my honor and privilege to welcome the distinguished representatives of the two Royal Highnesses and our warm regards to their Highnesses. I also understand that the Senate President has also sent a representative in the person of Alhaji Adamu Garba, representative of the Senate President. Please, you're welcome and our warm regards to the distinguished, or His Excellency, the President of the Senate. I must also specifically recognize those of us who were at Maiduguri last year. We know how we were lavishly spoiled by His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, Professor Baba Ganasulu. Up to yesterday, he hoped to be here with us. Unfortunately, the exigencies of duty could not allow him to be here. But he is ably represented by a distinguished senator who has taken the senatorial seat of His Excellency the Vice President in the person of Senator Kakashehu. You're welcome, sir. Now, the next item is the big. It's my honor and privilege to invite the big masquerade, His Excellency, the chairman of this occasion, the chairman of our Board of Trustees, former head of state, and everything that we've said about him yesterday, day before yesterday, today, and by the grace of God, tomorrow. My honor and privilege to invite His Excellency General Yakubu Gawan, give us his chairman's remark. You can sit down, please.
Your Excellencies, Your Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Your Highnesses, eminent and distinguished barbarians, not but old and young, old and young. I think this is to make the protocol much easier because I cannot do the protocol that the Secretary has done. So I call all of you barbarians, not barbarians, old and young. You are all recognized. And really, I must say, you are all sincerely welcome. You are welcome to this year's 2023 BOBA Annual Lecture and Honors Award. It is good to see all of you in such good health, physically and in spirit. However, since our last meeting in Maiduguri, BAREWA All Boys Association had lost some of her eminent and prominent members in the persons of the late Emeritus Professor Umaru Shehu, BAREWA 491, Malam Ahmed Joda, BAREWA 502, and of course Ibrahim Damchida much earlier, BAREWA, I think, is it 651? 651, okay. And recently we lost another illustrious member, the late Malam Adamofika, my very good friend, BAREWA 653, the Wazirin Fika. All of these are members of BOBA, Body of Patrons and Trustees, so it tells you their age. May I crave your indulgence to please stand up and let us observe a minute's silence for the repose of their souls. Kindly be standing up. May their souls rest in perfect peace. Allah yajikansu. Thank you. Well, to waste any time, our program of today commences with this BOBA annual lecture and award. award series. And this began in 1986, aimed at addressing topical national issues to be delivered by an old barbarian village to deliver the centenary lecture in 2021 and an earlier one in 1997. Today, the keynote speaker is a very bright younger barbarian, an erudite international scholar, and a citizen. I'm told that he comes from Bauchi, not from. Yes, he's the honorable, that's his Professor Mohammed Pate, CON and BOBA 5104, the Honorable Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare. And what really I'm really impressed with is that remarkably, the professor sacrificed one of the most or highest paying jobs in the world to come back to serve his country. He is certainly a good Nigerian nationalist par excellence, and a shining example of the selfless and altruistic investment BAREWA All Boys have made to Nigeria from independence to date. Professor Pate, BAREWA, and indeed the nation. The choice of the topic for today is investing in Nigeria's greatest asset, a very appropriate topic for Nigeria today. Indeed, that suggests that Nigeria's greatest asset is human resources, human capital. For a healthy nation is considered both rich and wealthy. He will expatiate on the subject matter, and I have to give him the floor to educate us and the nation on this message, calling on all the citizens of our nation to call on and also support the government's effort and determination in providing basic health needs for all the Nigerian people. That is the best investment that will guarantee security and happiness for all of us. The second part of today's program is BOBA's Honors Award to some deserving living old boys, as well as for some posthumous award. This BOBA's initiative deserves acknowledgement and commendation, as it is in line with what our national anthem says. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. Yes, when you receive that award, you're a hero. That's why BOBA is giving you this award. It will also encourage others to put in their best so as to be recognized and be rewarded in due course. The honors are well deserved, and we rejoice and congratulate them, the recipients, we congratulate them and their families for this recognition. So BOBA must continue to contribute their quota to national and global progress and development. We must always remain focused, resolute, honest, faithful, dedicated, and good ambassadors of our esteemed alma mater. Do this in whatever way we do or are engaged in. Must not be found wanting in probity or accountability. Let me acknowledge the old boys for what they have done and are doing. I am aware that over the years, many interventions projects by various class groups and individual members to complement what the Kaduna State government is in the college. I know that from the caliber of our old, we can and must do more for BAREWA College. We must by what all students of other they are doing for their alma mater. I know I receive I know that I received a lot of letter of invitation by federal government colleges to attend their functions, and I can assure you I'm very impressed with what they are doing for their alma mater. BAREWA, of course, has done well in this area, and I think I want to sort of say, especially for our Sultan of Sokoto, who had built the meeting place for BAREWA College at the college in Zaria. BAREWA has been a pace setter and should lead while others follow. Now, before I conclude, let me say a big thank you to the National President of BOBA, Engineer Ahiru Ibrahim, BAREWA 1136, and his executive committee, the Secretary, AVM Ibrahim Shari, BAREWA 3388, for the tireless efforts and leadership in keeping the BAREWA spirit alive. I want to remember, and I remember with gratitude and appreciation, our former Secretary General, Professor Ahmed Mora, for his long and outstanding service to BOBA. Thank you, Professor Mora. Thanks also for the brief stint as Secretary. Is it Harun Adamu? Am I right? Yes. Haruna, is it Haruna Audu or Haruna Adamu? Okay. Haruna Audu. So we thank him for his brief stint as secretary. And I didn't know when that happened. When I got the secretary's message and letter, I saw that it is in a Shafi that is now our secretary. I said, well, very good. And I think he started very well indeed. And we congratulate him for dealing with the problem that he had for this meeting. And but I thought, it turned out well, because when you look at the hall, full to and to see that all the BAREWA old boys will have, this is not the 10, is it now we're about 10,000, over 10,000? How many thousand? 30,000, oh, beg your pardon. I'm talking of 10,000, that is young people. Oh no, that is very good indeed. And the way you've turned out for this meeting really encourages everyone that yes, you are all proud of your alma mater, just as I am. And delighted to see Baba Ahmed, a young man here whom I knew as a child. His father was a religious teacher, and he is the one that makes sure that all the young Muslim boys, they've got to get up and go and to worship. And I used to help him by going around and getting all those young boys, young boys, to go to the mosque. Come along, I want to sleep. Is it your religion? Just leave us alone. And of course, he appreciated me very, very much indeed. And he used to say to them, to the boys, now I wish for you a good Muslim like Yakubu. Knowing well that I was a Christian, but he says that they should be a good Muslim like me. Now, delighted to see him here representing the vice president, and honestly, there's quite a lot of you that one saw here that really pleases me. That yes, it is interesting, to see so many good, good people, from BAREWA, old and young. Oh, Iskako. Chiwari, that's my favorite name for you. Honestly, I think it's been wonderful to see that this whole, although it was an error, at least it made it makes BAREWA old boys proud to see so many of different oldest man. Is it Adebayo or is it myself? Yeah, is it? Who? Yeah, he is the oldest. Is he? How old is he? No. Yeah. You're only 82. I thought he was going to be said to me that he was 92. Then delighted to see you all, and please make BAREWA proud at any time, at any function, wherever you may be. God bless you, and we thank God for BAREWA in the college, BAREWA College. Thank you. Now, who told you that I had finished? I think he wants to get rid of me so that we can hear Sapate. Well, thanks, all of you thank you, all of you. May BAREWA College and BOBA continue to grow from strength to strength. Well done, and keep the flag flying. Manjadda wajadda. And I think you know what that means. He who seeketh, in Old English, he who seeketh findeth. God bless you all, and God bless BAREWA College and BOBA. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Your Excellency. Today, I think I have a rare opportunity that I would like to include in my CV. Being an ADC to General Gawan for a period of 15 minutes is a great honor. I recall while I was at the college, Malam Baba Ahmad was the chairman, Parent Teachers Association. So he used to come and admonish us from. One day he gave us a story. He came with his bicycle and went into the class. After the class, he came out, he couldn't find the bicycle. While they were looking for that bicycle, he said, the late Ezo of Nupe, he saw Yakubu with that bicycle around Gaskia Corporation. He said, if it is Yakubu that took the bicycle, so be it. So he was bowing Allah even at that time. He was bowing Allah when he ruled us, and he will continue to be bowing Allah till the last day by the grace of God. Let me recognize leadership of our sister associations. The president of Saradona Memorial College, Major General Jibril, I think, is here to celebrate with us. Thank you. You're welcome, sir. I also understand that the president of Rumfa College is also here with us. Wherever he is, please, you are recognized and you are welcome. I have an apology from one of us, the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, my classmate, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Adeja. He sent his apology. He wanted to be with us, but unfortunately, he had to be with the VP at some occasion in Ogun State. So his apology on behalf of the President is hereby accepted. We'll continue to recognize distinguished personalities that are here as we move on. Our next let me render another apology. Professor Sakanuru is the eldest of us here, at least by the BAREWA number. I don't know about the age, sir. He ought to have been recognized earlier enough, but I think it is the confusion from Nikon Luxury that slipped into us. Prof, as profusely, and you're welcome, sir. Our next item is another big talk from our distinguished father, His Eminence, Commander of the Federal Republic, member of the National Institute, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III. You're welcome, sir, to give us your fatherly advice.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Our most distinguished colleagues and friends from time immemorial to present day, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. When the chairman of the BOT was suddenly cut short by the band, and he asked them, "Who told you I have finished?" I thought he was going to go down and take the stick from the leader and direct the music, because he used to do that, and he always remember his good old days as a soldier, as a general. But it's just for him to round up. When I saw the program this morning when I came in, that I was supposed to speak as the royal father of the day, and I told myself, I found myself speaking at every function where there's supposed to be a royal father. As the chairman of the National Council of Traditional Rulers, they always push that on me. So I think we have to find ways and means to excuse some people from speaking, especially when the chairman of the BOT, chairman of the occasion, General Gowon, has spoken. And I call him my own senior brother. Senior brother in the sense that he was the son to my father. And what was between them then as head of state and as Sultan of Sokoto, the 17th Sultan of Sokoto, I will leave that to him to say. I won't say it because as a young person, I never knew what was going on. But one thing I know, I will never forget, and General Gowon will never forget, is the fura that my father used to send him every weekend to Dodam Barracks. And when I came in this morning, he asked me, "Have you brought the fura?" And I said, "Yes." But unfortunately, I was told that the hall was full and they're waiting for me, so I had to rush. So I will promise you I will bring your fura to your house so that you continue the parade as used to be. When we were asked to speak after the chairman, sometimes we find, what do we really say? But normally he used to cover everything. But we're at a forum where we always look forward to the annual lecture series of this great BOBA. And Alhamdulillah, this is the 28th version of the lecture. The last one, 27th, I was privileged to deliver at Maiduguri exactly a year ago. And you've heard the MC saying how we're spoiled by the governor. The governor and Kanuri people have no choice but to spoil us because their father, Sultan, was there, the leader of the Fulani. When you go back, tell the governor, we appreciated his hospitality, but it was a must. We really enjoyed ourselves, and I remember very well, some of you were not there, the lecturer was on challenges of leadership and governance in Nigeria, looking inwards and looking backwards at our indigenous knowledge. And some of you, if not all of you, know what Sokoto Caliphate had been, Kanem Borno Empire had been, Oyo Empire had been, and all those empires and caliphates of the old before the British came and spoiled us, spoiled our system. Today we are still looking at our own democracy. So a few days ago, I heard General Obasanjo, the former president, saying that this democracy was forced on us by the Oyimbos. So I said, did he listen to my lecture last year? You should get a copy and then read it. But I think it's something that we need to continue asking ourselves. Do we really need to continue with this type of democracy? But it's so expensive. And we've seen what happened in 2023 elections. It's still very, very fresh in our minds. But Alhamdulillah, today we are here seated as brothers of this great college to listen to another distinguished son of BAREWA College, whom we are also proud of. He is the youngest lecturer at this forum so far. Because after I gave my own last year as the oldest, because I'm the oldest, wherever I am, you don't use age to consider who is older. The only person I say is my senior brother is General Yakubu Gowon, and it's not because of age. Now, Professor Patti is coming. You've heard what General Gowon said about him. Somebody we are so proud of, somebody we started working with, one of the primary healthcare agency, when we started talking about health issues in this country, almost 15 years ago. Now today, the ball is in your court as the Minister of Health. Let's see the difference from an old boy of this great college. And we will work with you 24/7 and give you all the support, more than 100%, so that you succeed, inshallah. The lecture is very timely because we all know health is wealth. We're going to hear from the lecturer. What does he think he's going to put on the table for all of us to work on? So we'd like to take this opportunity once more to thank all those who have turned up. I know it's a forum that so many of us have been looking forward to. Coming together, the old boys, the young boys, the new boys, all coming together to see one another. And of course, even some of our friends, like the other lesser schools associations. Saldona Memorial, are you there? You are welcome to our fold. We can give you honorary membership. So you can put honorary member BAREWA Old Boy Association. We all work together, and I think it's important for us when we come together to see one another, to felicitate one another, see how we are doing. Those who are privileged to be in positions, let's ask ourselves, what can we do to those who are not privileged? Because a lot of us have challenges. A lot of us have challenges in life. Now, if Almighty Allah has placed you in a position where you can help the less privileged, why don't you do it? We need to see how we can look inwards at this BOBA, see how we can bring up solutions to problems of the members in particular, because these members have families also. Let's see what we can do. And it's left to the national body to come up with some of these possible issues, possible solutions to the problems, so that we can all sit down together and see how we can help one another. But we should not allow our people, our brothers, our sisters, to be left unattended to. I think it's important at this type of forum. So many people have spent a lot just to be in Abuja for this program, because they wanted to see some of us. So it's not easy for you to start driving to Sokoto or to Maiduguri or to Benin or to Lagos. But this is a forum where people come. We all try to be here. And I agree with the executive, the sudden change didn't mean anything to us. It's a challenge, and we've overcome the challenge. And I've always said I'm an advocate of having challenges. When you have challenges, you try to strive to be better. So if you don't have any challenge, then you don't have anything to fight for. So we got this challenge this morning, and today we're here. So people are standing, yes. Even if you expanded this hall by another meters also, they'll still fill this place because people have come from far and near. Especially the best of all, the class of 70. Where are you? How many of you? Class of 70. That's the most senior class. General Kazir, are you doubting? Okay, that's class of 70. And I'm sure General Gowon knows what class of 70 is. It's the only class of 70, it's the only class of 70 that built that assembly hall, which General Gowon himself commissioned so many years ago. We also built a new office for the principal and brought the late Major AB, the first indigenous principal of BAREWA College, to commission that office. So that's class of 70 for you. And that's why they are special. That's why we always try to call on all of us here to do what we need to do to help BAREWA College. There's a lot we can do, and we must do a lot. Because some people claim residents of 2 houses in the BAREWA College at that time, those days. There's Malam Smith, there is Clifford. So some people will call Malam Clee. I won't tell you who the person is there, but he knows himself because he's been very. I won't say further. But the joy is when we come together here. We are supposed to be happy and crack jokes. It's not just all talk, and this thing. We have to crack jokes and be happy one another, happy seeing one another, and that's what we are trying to do here. And I want to thank all of you for coming, and I also want to thank BOBA for making this forum today a reality, despite the short problem we faced. But it's nothing to us. We have overcome it, and even those people standing outside, I wish there could be a seat. There could be a seat for them to come in, but they will listen to the lecturer, to the speaker of today, our own distinguished professor, and I call him Chigarin Kauye. He is Chigarin Misau. And I assure you, very soon, I will call him Sokoto and turban him as something else. And that will be a much bigger turban than that of Misau. So we thank you for coming. May we have a good time. And at the end of this program, the Almighty Allah take us back to our various destinations safely. And we look forward, inshallah, to the next annual general meeting at BAREWA College. And of course, inshallah, the next annual lecture in peace and stability. May God bless our country. May God bless our leaders, especially the president and all the governors. Let's continue to pray for them because they need prayers. We must pray for our leaders. You pray for your leader, he does good things, you enjoy. You refuse to pray for him, he does bad things, you suffer. So pray for your leaders in whatever form, whoever that person is your leader. God brought him and there's nothing you can do about it. Let's pray for our leaders, let's pray for our country. May Almighty Allah continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria and also BOBA. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, and thank you. Our Father, for these golden words of advice. And I think the takeaway is we all have to join hands and pray for this country and pray for our leaders so that things will be easier. If we abuse the country and abuse our leaders, we suffer the most. Thank you, sir. I am also made to be aware that the principal, the current principal of BAREWA College Zaria is here with us. Wherever, thank you, you're welcome, sir. Keep the flag flying. We also have apologies from one of our own, the Honorable Minister for Agriculture. Is supposed to be here with us, but unfortunately, he could not be here with us, so he sent his apologies. There are also a representation from other honorable ministers. The Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs has also sent a distinguished Director, PRS, Ambassador. Your Excellency, you're welcome. The Senate President has also sent a representative. I think the Honorable Minister for Special Duties too has sent a representative. You're all welcome. The next item on the agenda is to listen to the speech of our distinguished guest of honor, His Excellency, the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, who we had mentioned earlier that is ably represented by one of his distinguished aides in the person of his Senior Special Assistant. First, I would like to welcome Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad to deliver the speech of the guest of honor. So I'm told that the representative of the guest attend the college, but he was born in the college. So he is a member of BOBA by birth. Thank you, sir. Bismillah. The father of the nation, General Yakubu Gawan, Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, the Honorable Minister of Education, the President and members of the Executive of BOBA, distinguished members of BOBA, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stand on this protocol. I have been assigned the responsibility to deliver the address of His Excellency, Senator Kashim Shettima, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I crave your indulgence to stretch the protocol a little bit for 1 minute and say how happy I am personally, because this is a distinct pleasure to be able to represent the Vice President at an event which touches me very intimately. BOBA members identify themselves by registration. In my family, we identify ourselves as those born and bred in BOBA, in BAREWA College. 19 of us, as you've heard from the members outside, were born in BAREWA College. 19. My number, we started from BOBA, BOCA, BAREWA All Children's Association, 001, 002. My number is BOCA 011, 0011.
I was the 11th member. It is also particularly gratifying that I'm here. I'm sharing the high table with two members of my family. And I mean that in every sense of the word. General Yakubu Gawan, when we were growing up, we used to think he was General Yakubu Gawan Baba Ahmed. He was the only student we knew who routinely would collect our father's vehicle outside the house on every Sunday morning, because our father would put it out there for him to ride it and go to church service and go home in Usasa. He literally grew up in our house. We thought he was a member of our family. Alhaji Umar Mutala was the second one, and he's on the high table too. These two distinguished Nigerians were literally members of our family and still are. So for me, for so many reasons, when I look around, I see people that I have learned to grow up looking up to, and I'm still looking up to. And I pray to Allah to keep you alive so that the nation continues to benefit from your wisdom and your leadership. I'm now going to read the address of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm honored by your invitation to me to serve as special guest of honor at an event which your association has made a reference point in excellence for the nation. BAREWA All Boys Association has become synonymous with the best traditions of a Nigerian elite, which links a great past in the lives of young schoolboys with deep involvement in affairs of their country in their adult lives. BOBA has shown the way in the direction of celebrating the vital process of giving back, and history has recorded the unparalleled tradition of the contributions of your members to this nation. In this regard, let me convey the condolences of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and my humble self over the demise of two of your most distinguished members, Professor Emeritus Umaru Shehu, member of the Board of Trustees, and Malam Adamufika, Wazir Fika, member of the Board of Patrons. I join you in praying that God will reward them for their exemplary service to him, to humanity, and our nation. Your association could not have chosen a more relevant and more appropriate theme for this year's lecture, the one that looks critically at investing in our greatest asset, which is our human asset. Your choice of one of your very own and our very own, the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, to deliver the lecture ought to have been your easiest decision, given his global stature and record in service in the field of medicine. An administration such as ours, which has set for itself the task of regenerating renewed hope of the citizen in the commitment of the leadership to address his most pressing problems, will pay very close attention to this lecture, because it is bound to expand the horizon and deepen our understanding of the opportunities and challenges at the meeting point between the citizen and the state. Your Excellencies, distinguished members of this great association, Nigeria is at a crossroads. We are burdened by a past and current challenges which will take huge efforts to overcome. We are also beckoned by greatness, for which we have been well prepared by our huge endowments in human and other resources. The difference in which direction we'll go will be located in the quality of our human assets. In 2 decades, or even less, we will be the third most populous country in the world, with the youngest proportion of young people. The choices we make today will be critical in determining whether we just continue to grow our population or we build a strong economy to support and add quality to the life of a huge citizenry because we have invested in developing the quality of our population through good and relevant education, health services, and informed access to developing opportunities in technology and growing our natural resources. We have to ensure good governance and security as priorities, not least because these are vital to inclusive development and the growth and development of our democratic process. From where we stand, Nigeria has no choice than to think and act boldly. The world owes us no favors and will not wait for us to fix our economy and regain our trust in our national institutions. We have to compete with what we have. If we will win the battle to be a great nation, we cannot afford to be discouraged by setbacks and limitations imposed by our past and current circumstances. We're a resilient and resourceful people. We have to put these qualities to use in building a strong economy and a country our young will be proud of. We have to rediscover and teach our young wholesome values like service, honesty, and hard work. As an administration, we have very clear priorities we believe must be achieved. But we need the support and trust of all Nigerians. In return, we pledge to lead the nation towards building a less challenging economy, in spite of the current hardships which we wish are avoidable. Nigeria's greatest asset is its people. This is also its most vulnerable asset. We are convinced that we will overcome our current circumstances, inshallah, and lay the foundations of sustainable growth and security of the citizens and communities. I hope we can count on BOBA, which has 2 serving ministers in the current cabinet, to join us in raising the morale and spirits of fellow citizens and joining the task of building a great economy and a nation that should be among the greatest by right. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, our able, distinguished representative of the special guest of honor. There is no way you rub on BAREWA College or BAREWA College rub on you, you'll not come top. So whether you are a BOBA by attendance or BOBA by birth, the quality is definitely there. Thank you, sir. Acknowledgements. We have some distinguished academics who have made it to the topmost and who are distinguished members of this association. The current Vice Chancellor of the premier university in the north, the Vice Chancellor of Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Professor Kabir Bala, is acknowledged and is welcome. Kabir Bala is 1 year ahead of me. Well, but we can also match that set a little. Professor Abdullahi Musa, the current Vice Chancellor of Kaduna State University, and who incidentally is one of the recipients of the honors at this occasion, is also here with us and is acknowledged. Thank you, you're welcome. I would like to announce that this event is being live streamed via YouTube. I think very soon we'll get the address beamed. So for those who are unable to come in, there is data on their handset. They will miss nothing, particularly of the lectures. They can catch everything because it's streamed live. Now, to the main event. Like I've said, we're here mainly for two reasons. One is to listen to the distinguished coordinating minister for health and social welfare on how we appreciate the national asset and utilize it for national progress. While the second is to honor distinguished members of this association, either those who are no more with us and those who are still with us. So we're now coming to the first, every other thing important that brought us here. I said, I think the president said he's not going to be a guest speaker. He's a speaker because he's one of us. It's my honor and privilege to invite Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, Commander of the Order of the Niger, BAREWA 5104.
Muhammad Ali Pate, BAREWA number 5104, is the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare in the Federal Government of Nigeria. Until August 2023, he held the Julia Frank Professor Chair in the Practice of Public Health Leadership at the Harvard University's Chan School, and is the co-chair, Future of Health and Economic Resilience in Africa, FERA, a multidisciplinary and multi-stakeholder platform.
I think the DJ is too much in a hurry. He should have allowed me to give him the go-ahead. While I invite the Honorable Minister, we'll beam the citation of the Honorable Minister on the screen. At the National Institute, when they do presentation, they said as shown on the screen. But this one will not flash it. We'll make sure that we tarry for a while for everybody to see why this year Professor Ali Pate was chosen to be our speaker, using the words of the president. Then you can go ahead. Can we beam the citation digitally, please?
Muhammad Ali Pate, BAREWA number 5104, is the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare in the Federal Government of Nigeria. Until August 2023, he held the Julia Frank Professor Chair in the Practice of Public Health Leadership at the Harvard University's Chan School, and is the co-chair, Future of Health and Economic Resilience in Africa, FERA, a multidisciplinary and multi-stakeholder platform fostering the emergence of a better future of health and economic resilience in Africa. In February 2023, he was announced as Gavi CEO in Geneva, Switzerland, a position he later withdrew to serve in Nigeria. He was elected as a member of the prestigious American Academy of Art and Science and inducted in September 2023. Dr. Pate had served as the Global Director, Health, Nutrition and Population Global Practice and Director of the Global Financing Facility at the World Bank Group in Washington, D.C., 2019 to 2021. In that role, Dr. Pate led the bank's 390 global development professionals in 6 regions of the world and led World Bank's health response to the COVID-19 pandemic, including the design and implementation of the $18 billion Global Health Multi-Phase Approach, which supported more than 100 countries. During this period, Nigeria benefited from the World Bank's $150 billion commitment fund to mitigate the social and economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Pate was the founding CEO of Big Win Philanthropy 2015 to 2018, a UK and US-based global foundation which supported credible national leaders in several African countries to transform their economies and build human capital. Prior to serving in Big Win, He was a visiting professor at Duke University Global Health Institute 2013 to 2015, conducting research and teaching in comparative health systems. Between 2011 to 2013, Dr. Partey served as the Minister of State for Health, member of the National Economic Management and Implementation Teams, and chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Polio Eradication, Routine Immunization, and Primary Healthcare. Prior to his nomination as minister, he had served as the CEO of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, NPHCDA, from 2008 to 2011. Dr. Partey's 5 years of service in the federal government were notable for several important accomplishments. These included salvaging Nigeria's polio eradication efforts in 2008, elimination of type 3 wild poliovirus, last case in the world in 2012, and laying foundation for the subsequent elimination of type 1 wild poliovirus and certification. Introduction of the meningococcal A conjugate vaccine in Nigeria, effectively stopping the seasonal large meningitis outbreaks. Introductions of the Haemophilus influenza type B antigen as part of the pentavalent vaccine and the pneumococcal conjugate vaccines. Creation of the emergency operation centers at national and select state levels. Midwife service scheme and community health worker program. Primary healthcare under one roof policy 2010 with accelerated development of state primary healthcare agencies. Creation of the Northern Traditional Leaders Committee on Polio and Primary Care. Introducing Nigeria State Health Investment RBF program NSHIP 2009. Saving 1 Million Lives Initiatives 2012. Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria 2011. And the Chigari Foundation 2014, now working in 19 states and FCT. Dr. Partey served on several global experts panel and boards, including the recent Lancet COVID-19 Commission, Independent Panel on the Global Ebola Response, High Quality Health Systems Commission, and Board of US-based Management Sciences for Health. He was chair and vice chair, Global Agenda Council on Population Dynamics of the World Economic Forum. He contributed to expert panels convened by prestigious institutions such as the Brookings Institution's Africa Growth Initiative Report, Council on Foreign Relations, op-ed published by CNN and interviews by Financial Times. He has published extensively and contributed several book chapters. He is recipient of multiple honorary awards, including Harvard Health Leadership Award 2012, Geneva Health Forum Award 2014, traditional titles of Chigarin Misau in Bauchi State, Dan Ian Ibi in Taraba State, and in the Western Pacific island of Samoa. Dr. Partey holds a medical doctor degree from the Ahmadu Bello University ABU Zaria in 1990, attended the UK Medical Research Council Laboratories in the Gambia 1993 to 95, postgraduate specialty training at Howard University in Washington, D.C., USA. He was instructor and fellow in infectious diseases at University of Rochester, New York, holds Master of Science degree in Health Systems Management from University College, London, UK, and Master of Business Administration from Duke University, Durham, North Carolina, USA. Dr. Muhammad Ali Partey has dedicated his life to making Nigeria, Africa, and the world safer and healthier for everyone. He is happily married to Hajia Karimatu and blessed with 4 daughters and 2 sons.
I'm sure we're in no doubt as to why we chose this global citizen, a distinguished member of our family, to come and summarize all these experiences and preach to us the golden words of how we're going to harness this national asset for national development. It's my honor and privilege to invite Professor Muhammad Ali Partey, Commander of the Order of the Niger, Honorable Minister, Coordinating Minister for Health and Social Welfare, to deliver this year's distinguished annual lecture. Professors.
Thank you very much, MC, for this very kind introduction. The chairman of the occasion and our father, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the BAREWA All Boys Association, former head of state, General Yakubu Gawan, GCFR, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, ably represented by my older brother, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar, CFR, the President of the BAREWA All Boys Association, the Secretary General of the BAREWA All Boys Association, my senior brother, Air Vice Marshal Ibrahim Shafi'i, Excellencies, former governors, and I call on the former governor of Kwara State, as well as other former governors that are here with us, ministers who are here and also represented, several of my colleagues, some of the former ministers also, Senate President, members of National Assembly, our royal fathers that are here, including from Bauchi and many other parts of the country, the members and chairman of the local organizing committee, Alhaji Mamu and your committee, distinguished recipients of the awards that will be given today, as well as those who are representing the posthumous awardees, including one from my own hometown, the late Edi Rufai Misau. Many senior boys and junior boys that are here, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and such a privilege for me to be asked to deliver this year's BOBA annual lecture. More so, in the presence of several highly distinguished statesmen that are here, elders, my own senior boys, and many fellow junior boys that are here, including my own class. Although it's not a competition, His Eminence the Sultan started it by calling his own class. I would really crave the indulgence of the chairman to ask the class of 1984 to stand up for also being recognized. Thank you. I think these gentlemen have indeed, you can sit down. These gentlemen have been indeed the backbone of my support in almost every step, whatever I do. This has been the cohort that have walked to me along the way, and I really am very grateful that they came to join us in this particular event. And I would like to say upfront that attending BAREWA College, whatever one has done subsequently, is one of the most pivotal steps in my life. Not only for the education, the quality education that we all received going through BAREWA College in those days, but also the values, the character, the diligence, discipline that we imbued by going through the experience of going through BAREWA College. So now with this platform that was granted to me by BOBA, I intend to humbly speak on an important topic that all responsible leaders must grapple with. That is the decision on which policies, programs, and investments are most likely going to help drive sustainable, equitable socio-economic development for their countries and people. Upfront, let me start by stating what the Vice President also mentioned, that Nigeria's demography, currently at about 220 million, is among the fastest growing youthful demography in the world, projected to reach 450 million, almost the fourth or fifth most populous nation on earth by 2050. This is Nigeria's greatest asset. Certainly not oil, and not even the minerals that we have. Our palpable historical richness, cultural diversity, energy, creativity, geography, as well as natural resource endowments provide a fertile background for harnessing the most important asset that we have to elevate Nigeria of the present to a future of greatness and a beacon of hope for Africa and the world. However, policymakers at federal and state levels face the reality that public investments, the resources available for public investments are limited, especially now, to determine what choices to make between immediate urgent issues like roads, buildings, electricity, other physical infrastructure, and those that directly harness the nation's own human capital. I intend to do a few things here. First, to highlight the state of Nigeria's human capital. Second, to show and share with you available evidence linking investment in human capital and socio-economic development. And finally, the third part of what I will speak about will be to outline a few options on how we may move forward as a country. On the state of our human capital, despite having a large youthful population, Nigeria's human development outcomes are unfortunately among the worst in the world. In terms of health, we're on average among the bottom 5 performers in the world, with women dying from childbirth, that is maternal mortality, children less than 1 year of birth that are dying, that's infant mortality, and children under 5 years that are dying, that is child mortality, as well as in overall life expectancy, the average life expectancy. We're also among the bottom 10 performers in the world in terms of child stunting, the children that are malnourished as a people. Moreover, we have a double burden of disease, meaning in addition to infectious diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, and others, we have a fast-growing burden of non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, cancers, and mental ill health. At the same time, we are also aging as a population, with at least 5% of our population considered aged, and this number is growing. So we are youthful, but we are also aging at the same time. The average health numbers that I mentioned hide significant intra-country differences. Take child stunting, for example. The difference between the worst performing zone and the highest performing zone in Nigeria is at least threefold. I'm not going to call the zones, but that is a difference that exists. And the difference between the worst performing zone and the highest performing zone in Nigeria is at least fourfold when it comes to child mortality. So the average numbers are not the same. They are hiding significant differences. There are also several false differences between the poorest 20% of Nigerians and the wealthiest 20% Nigerians in terms of access to basic health services like immunization, antenatal visits, maternal mortality, and even in their total fertility rates. As for the rate of education, with nearly 20 million Nigerians out of school, and Nigerian children out of school, and almost an estimated 70% learning poverty, meaning if you ask 70% of Nigerian children aged 10 years old to read a simple paragraph, not being able to do so. I'm sure you can understand when I say that we also have the problem of a too-tired educational system with the public basic and secondary education track, which is public sector government, which is largely off track, and a private basic and secondary education for the children of wealthier Nigerians. We also see this divergence in the higher education between the public domestic education, the universities, even though they are still modestly functioning, and the sometimes glorified university education abroad for the children of the wealthier Nigerians. I studied in several universities, and I can say that this divergence that we have is a major issue that we have to pay attention to. With this, I'm sure you can begin to see the dangers that we face of a highly unequal society where the gap between the haves and have-nots is widening. The fundamental issue behind the above dismal performance they mentioned on health and education is really poor government spending on human capital, both in absolute numbers and as a percentage of our national GDP. Of course, governments also have not been collecting the revenue that they need. And the low government spending applies equally to both federal government and the state governments in terms of spending on health and education. We spend $23 at the federal level per person on average for government services. And states spend about $31 per person for government services. For education, federal government spends about 5, 8, and state 14. And for health, it's about half and half. So you can see the relativity in terms of where we appropriate the resources that we have. We are not collecting enough, and of what we collect, we are not prioritizing these initial investments. Now let me turn to the evidence that is linking the association between human capital development outcomes and economic growth. Why this state that we have is really undermining our future prosperity. This is well established. And I will use some of the analysis that was done by a very good friend of mine, a colleague of mine, a distinguished economist, Professor David Bloom of Harvard University, to illustrate this point, that the healthier, more educated, and more productive a nation's population it is, the more likely that that nation will have sustainable, equitable socio-economic development. That's very clear. Healthier, educated girl adolescents will grow into healthy, empowered young women who will become healthier mothers. And during gestation, the developing fetus of a healthier, active, and safe mother is exposed to less stress, grows better, and is likely to reach term before delivery and into a healthy newborn. A breastfed and immunized infant is more likely to survive the transition between being a newborn and into a child. And a well-nourished child who is also fully immunized and intellectually stimulated is more likely to get into primary school ready to learn. And a well-nourished, healthy child will tend to stay longer in school, successfully transition from class to class, and have overall better educational attainment and also educational outcomes. That child is also likely to have higher lifetime earnings. In turn, the increased incomes by individuals and households will then allow governments and households to invest more heavily in human capital development, and then the virtuous cycle will continue. Borrowing from my friend David Bloom, I think there is very clear both theoretical and also empirical evidence that supports the idea that you link spending on health and education, you will grow better as a country. You will reduce poverty better. In contrast to this, the evidence that infrastructure-related investments that drive economic growth is actually less clear-cut. The evidence from low and middle-income countries show that a 10% increase in life expectancy in a population from 53 years, for instance, to 57 years can show a 1 percentage point increase in the annual GDP. You grow faster in the short term and almost half a percentage point in the medium to long term. Similarly, a yearly increase in the average educational attainment corresponds to a significant increase in the annual growth rate. So there's a link between improving the education of your population and how fast your GDP grows. And with compounding, such increases can result in several-fold increase in the national GDP per capita, the size of your economy, how everybody does better if you invest. It is very plausible, these findings, if you consider that a better educated population is more likely to be productive, to participate in the labor force. They are more likely to have longer working lives. They are more likely to establish successful and productive firms, to adopt and assimilate new technologies from abroad and also create new ones. And they are also more likely to enhance the productivity of their co-workers through the beneficial synergies and the spillover between educated workforce. So there's a lot of ramification if you educate the population, not just the individual. Everybody gets better. And for every additional year of schooling that you can get as a population, individual income actually increases 10% higher. This is really good evidence that I'm sharing with you. And 1 year increase in average educational attainment in the population is associated with almost a % increase in annual growth rate. In terms of the quality of education as well, it's good information and evidence to show that a 25% improvement in the PISA, which is a measure of the quality of education. It's not just going to school. You can go to school and have poor quality education. That will not solve it. But if you go to school and have quality education, and there's improvement in PISA in the population, it actually increases the annual GDP per capita growth by 0.5%. That is significant for the macroeconomists in the audience. Investments in primary education generally offer higher returns than investment in secondary and higher education. And investments in higher quality pre-primary education can also have a significant positive returns, even in the low-income settings. So a situation whereby the primary education is not functioning as well as it is, you can imagine what we are losing in terms of the growth of our economy. Imagine the quality of education we had at BAREWA and the returns that we are now all living through, the benefit of that investment. And the return for girls' child education in particular is generally even higher than for boys. And there are important spillover effects through promoting stronger families and communities, especially in areas where there are significant gender gaps in educational attainment. And this in particular for the northern parts of the country, I think is very relevant to understand that. This same work also revealed that investments in health, that was education, but now let me talk about health, also improves productivity and economic growth through several channels. Healthier workers are more likely to be consistently working and productive when they are working. Healthier children tend to perform better in school, attend school for more years, and accumulate more human capital in the process, which tends to enhance their productivity and incomes in adulthood. I still remember in BAREWA when we had very good food at the dining hall. We used to have, every weekend, we'll have geisha and a lot of proteinous things that we had. Imagine what that did to just your ability to focus, to learn from wherever you are. And healthier individuals have greater incentive to pursue education and to also save for their retirement. Because if you are not healthy, you can't even save because you'll be spending on taking care of yourself. And healthier populations are more powerful attractors of foreign direct investment. If you're an unhealthy population, who will come and invest? If you have lots of diseases that are really pervading, where will the capital that will invest come from? People will move to areas that are much healthier than you. And health investment that cure or prevent infectious diseases have positive spillovers to other individuals. We saw with COVID how a simple infectious diseases stopped the world's economy on its track. So it's not surprising that the macroeconomic evidence is very clear that health is an important determinant of economic growth. And it enhances productivity. And in particular, this idea of dependency, population structure that we have. Investments in health and education facilitate the often crushing burden of youth dependency, because then the youth will be more productive. You'll have higher working age to non-working age populations. Poor countries tend to have much higher youth dependency than wealthier countries. And I will share with you some of what we have found here in Nigeria. And supporting the basic needs of a relatively large child population imposes substantial resource burden, necessitating diversion of resources from other productive investments, which impede for decades the pace of economic growth. And as child survival improves, as women become healthier, more educated, more empowered, the number of children that desire tend to also decline. And that triggers what demographers say is transition in the demographic structure, which can result in a sizable boost to economic growth. That is what is called the demographic dividend. There's been very good analysis that showed that 1/3 of East Asia's growth miracle in the late 90s is due to the demographic dividend that followed strong shifts in their population structure in China, South Korea, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taiwan. And that 1/3 figure corresponds to almost 0.66% increase in per capita GDP rates for each one-child reduction in their total fertility rate. In 2014, I led a study in collaboration with David Bloom after I left government as Minister of State. I took the population census, the structure of Nigeria's population, and disaggregated it by states, by geopolitical zones, and modeled both data for economic and population growth rate scenarios up to 2050 to get a sense of what is lying ahead for Nigeria, to estimate the potential dividend. And part of that work was published under the World Economic Forum, but I will highlight the following relevant insights. First, that population structures in Nigeria, they are different in different zones of Nigeria, with more pyramidal, highly dependent populations in the northwest, northeast, and north central, while in the southwest, southeast, and south-south zones, they have already begun their demographic transitions with lower dependencies. So you have higher dependency in one part of the country than the other. The second finding was that some regions, like the southeast, were already aging faster. They're living longer and beginning to experience what is called demographic lag due to their rising age population, meaning the dependency is beginning to go up again. Because in the population, you look at who is working and who is the dependent. In many of in the north in particular, you find a very high dependency ratio. One person that is working age has several dependents that are not working, that depend on that individual. And the third finding was that while all the geopolitical zones of this country had prospects for reaping the demographic dividends, most of the potential dividends can be expected in the northeast, northwest, and the north central zones. So the distribution of the dividend of this population that we have based on the structure of the population and the growth rate falls in certain zones more than others. However, the prospects, as the Vice President also mentioned, are not guaranteed and require significant investments in health and education, particularly at the state levels, to improve the health and learning outcomes, reduce malnutrition, and empower girls and women. Failing to invest in human capital will mean that the prospect of a demographic dividend will remain elusive for our country, and particularly for the northern states, in addition to the implication broadly for Nigeria. So now let's turn to the future. That is what we had looked at in the past and forecasting into the future. I'd like Your Excellency to take you on a bit of a thought experiment. If we turn to the future, imagine that it's the year 2050 and Nigeria stands as Africa's leading powerhouse. That's in 27 years from now, with a population of more than 400 million and achieving an annual growth rate of 6% per annum over nearly 3 decades. That this economic transition has propelled the nation into an upper middle income status by the size of its economy and its per capita annual income. And the remarkable progress is rooted in both public and the private sector's productive capital accumulation, heightened employment opportunities, and enhanced total factor productivity. And there is a significant shift towards high employment intensity industries, which has bolstered the prosperity of the country, manifesting in substantial improvement in our living standards. And there is notably total employment that has soared from 46 million in 2020 to a remarkable more than 200 million by 2050. And that this surge has correspondingly led to a substantial decline in the unemployment rate that has plummeted down. And similarly, the number of those living in poverty has reduced from 83 million that is current by 2020 to less than 10 million, for example. And the poverty rate has also crashed from about 40% to a much smaller percent. And by then, that Nigeria has not only become an industrialized and dynamic economic force, but has also transitioned into a knowledge-based economy. Now, this is a dream, but that is a possibility. And at the core of this success story will have to be investment in our greatest asset, our present generation of young and the yet unborn generation. And actualizing this vision for a prosperous country is, to my understanding, at the heart of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for Nigeria. As a visionary leader, I believe the President recognized that Nigeria's success, his success story towards becoming an economic powerhouse, is intricately linked to its astute leveraging of its potential, of the potential of its people to reap the demographic dividend. At its core, the demographic dividend emerges when a country experiences this shift in population, and that it has a youth cohort that are well educated and healthy to contribute to the labor market. And actualizing this bright future that I have mentioned, this dream that we have of 2050, requires significant investments. And I believe the President recognized this fact, and therefore immediately upon his coming to office, started some bold reforms that also the Vice President mentioned to expand the fiscal space and improve the monetary policy environment to allow for mobilization of resources to invest in the infrastructure as well as the human capital. While that has caused some pain in the short term, but if you look at the longer term vision of where this country can be, this is how to make the pivot. And the President, in his wisdom, saw the convergence between health and social welfare, and that a coordinated approach was needed within the frame of a whole of government and a sector-wide approaches that he is asked what to do. And in our own coordination role for the social sector, we see the impact of the government through a life course lens, where governments at federal and state levels interface with individuals through their life transitions and across the life course. From the adolescent girl who is growing up today, who will become a mother, to the healthy, educated young man who becomes a father, to the child who is born into a family who is safe, thriving and well-nourished through various school transitions, to be a responsible adult himself or herself, and transition into the labor market into an adult, into healthy middle age, and also a very dignified aging. Specifically, as regards to health, we see it as both a cause for economic development, but also can be a consequence of that economic growth. So there's a virtuous cycle. And that's why we set ourselves the goals to save lives, reduce physical and financial pain, and to produce health for all Nigerians in the Federal Ministry of Health. And we've been embarking on major governance reforms through a sector-wide approach with collaboration between the federal government and the state governments. And this was recently approved by Mr. President, as well as the National Council on Health about a week and a half ago in Ekiti. Also, we are aligning all external development assistance in health to our national priorities and supportive of public sector, private sector, civil society, and citizens' engagement for better outcomes and impact. And there's a long history of that. His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, and all our royal fathers were very instrumental in the success of Nigeria to eradicate polio, to advance primary healthcare several years ago. So reconnecting that is part of what I believe we have to do, and I think the President is very much in that direction. And we're expanding alongside states investment in primary healthcare using the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund and others to make more primary healthcare centers functional, with trained human resources, with basic infrastructure and equipment, with essential commodities to deliver immunization, antenatal care, safe delivery, prevention and treatment for hypertension, diabetes, and mental health. Now you can see how the connection between health and economic and what government is also trying to do. And we're also going to expand the health infrastructure and equipment at our federal hospitals, including for cancer treatment, addressing the needs of Nigerians, and curbing outbound medical tourism. On human resources that is key for health, we have recently increased the quotas for human resources training institutions for nurses, midwives, to double them so that they can expand the production of health workforce. And to make the sector more productive, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also approved a new initiative to unlock the healthcare value chains, to increasingly produce locally some of the diagnostics, pharmaceuticals, and biologics that we need, so that we can retain some of the economic value and create jobs locally, and to also ensure our health security. To enable these actions, we are also revamping our data infrastructure, data architecture, and in collaboration with the Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy to pursue digital transformation of the health sector. We're also defragmenting external development assistance to make it more efficient, more effective, as well as more transparent and accountable both ways. In conclusion, as a way forward, I believe that Nigeria's greatest asset is its people. Their health, education, and social being should be at the center of all governance and policy decisions and actions. Leadership and allied consensus are key amongst us to prioritize investing in basic health and education, and particularly for adolescent girls, women, and children. Investing in human capital will unleash the inherent potential of Nigeria's population and propel it to the brighter and more prosperous future envisioned in President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Subnational leaders, specifically our state governors, and especially in the north of Nigeria, must refocus themselves to prioritizing investing in basic health and education for their own populations. And to manifest the vision of the president for a prosperous country, we must tackle head-on the high maternal infant child mortality and control the basic vaccine preventable diseases, reduce the prevalence of malaria, tuberculosis, deal with hypertension, diabetes, strokes, cancers, through both prevention as well as treatment, and take care of our elderly population. We must educate and empower the girl child and our women generally, economically, socially, and politically. We must also ensure that the boy child is well educated to grow into a responsible adult. I think that's what BAREWA did for many of us. We were picked from primary school through secondary school, and we made the transition to higher education and into the labor market. And for the youth of today, we must invest in them to help them transit into that adulthood and into the labor market to get quality jobs, not any job, but quality job, well-paying job that they can progress. There are many of our youth that are unemployed because they've fallen through the cracks in the transition. They didn't transit from one class to the other, from one school to the other, and they could not make the transition to the labor market. So they cannot contribute. They're excluded. They lose individually, but collectively as a people, we lose because we haven't harnessed their capabilities to grow our economy. So when I say quality job, I mean well-paying jobs with career progression for the youth and harnessing the innovation and the entrepreneurial spirit that is very much in our children. Doing all of this requires improved governance to heal and unify us as a people. And I think there's no example that is better than His Excellency, the former head of state who is with us here, who healed and unified a country which was going through a very difficult phase. But we need that healing and that unity and that improvement in governance for us as a people, and to collaborate across governments and sectors, federal government, state governments, and across sectors. Stronger institutions, not individuals, not big men, but institutions that function, and to enhance our citizens' focus so that the people of Nigeria are the principles that we respond to, and to reduce wastage and corruption, I would say, as part of efforts to improve the overall stability of the macroeconomy. And here I really want to thank our traditional leaders and religious leaders who have been part of a journey with us in health, and I think we'll continue with that, because if we are responsible, if we are focusing on the people, we also have to look at the custodians of those institutions. Country after country, the countries that go far are the ones that domesticate the democratic experience within their own context. You cannot transplant development from one country to the other. The indigenous institutions, culture has to be adapted for the democratic experiences that we are learning from others to actually work for us. So our traditional leaders and our religious leaders and generally the tapestry that we have in this country has to be adapted. We have to adapt the way we practice governance. How they practice in Japan, how they practice in Europe or America is really aligned with their own indigenous sort of culture, their history. And we have to find ways to actually do that. And I firmly believe that we can make it. That is why I was so grateful that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu invited us and allowed us to join his team. And I'm confident that in his leadership, that the renewed hope agenda that he has set forth, if executed as envisioned, will lead Nigeria to meeting its destiny as a great country in Africa and the world. Thank you for listening. And if there are questions, I'm happy to take them. God bless BAREWA College, BAREWA All Boys, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much for the honor. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. Now I can see the wisdom. When the president designated the office of Professor Ali Pate as coordinating minister for health and social welfare, I'm sure a lot of us are wondering, why not just Minister of Health? But no, it's more than that. You can see a public health expert, you can see a health economist, you can see a social welfare expert all lumped into one. My prayer, sir, I pray that the other coordinating ministries and agencies will give you the necessary cooperation to coordinate not just our health sector, but our social welfare sector. As he spoke, it reminded me when I was the Director of Studies at the National Institute. In 2020, the President challenged the Senior Executive Course to conduct a research on population growth and human capital development in Nigeria, challenges and opportunities. What we have listened from the minister is a summary of that report, which we have spent complete 1 year conducting. Congratulations, Mr. Minister. Now, I don't know whether we should entertain question and answer. This looks like an inaugural lecture. And by the tradition of universities, we have two distinguished vice chancellors. When an inaugural lecture is delivered, you don't subject that to questions, particularly looking at the constraint of time. The next item will have been goodwill messages and contributions. We will try to manage that because of time constraints. Before I go on to that, few acknowledgement of distinguished brothers. Professor Ali Pate is not only alone here. We have another distinguished member of this big family, who is also an expert in this area. Dr. Akbaka Kalu, who incidentally is one of our recipients here, is the team leader, strategic planning and policy on communicable and non-communicable cluster diseases of the World Health Organization in charge of Africa sub-region. You're welcome, sir. We have some few other recognitions quickly. Most of them have been recognized. Maybe we'll just go to the goodwill messages. We have, I'm reminded that we have BOBA in the diaspora. I think the neck, Mr. President, sir, we talked at the last NEC meeting, we should think of launching the diaspora chapter. We have a distinguished member who is incidentally is also into the health sector. I think he's a consultant cardiologist. A very distinguished consultant cardiologist who is based in Ghana and incidentally is also one of the recipients of this year's award in the person of Professor Lawrence Serebo. He's here with us. Thank you, you're welcome, sir. Okay, we have, I'll be very authoritarian with the goodwill messages. 1 minute or 2 minutes. We have, I think, about 4 goodwill messages to be delivered. One is from His Excellency the Senate President. We have a representative of the Senate President, I don't have his name here. He's coming to deliver the goodwill message of the Senate President. Please, if you have a long speech, maybe just give us a 1-minute summary and hand over the speech to us. We'll make sure that it's reflected in our records. I'm sure we agree. The ayes have it. Can I have the representative of His Excellency, the Senate President, to come and deliver the goodwill message?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm here to deliver the goodwill message of the Senate President. Due to time constraint, I'm standing on existing protocol. I'll go straight to the message. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, members of BAREWA College All Boys Association, it is an immense honor and great privilege to stand before you today as a special guest at this prestigious lecture. I extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers for inviting me to address such an esteemed gathering. This is a clear and compelling testament to the power of investing in Nigeria's great asset. The theme of today's lecture, investing in Nigerian great asset, strikes a chord in me. Human capital is the most valuable resource of any nation. Through education, mentorship, and empowerment, this asset is cultivated and nurtured. BAREWA College has excelled in this regard, fostering an environment that not only prioritizes academic excellence, but also instills values, leadership skills, and sense of duty to the nation. For this, we thank this college, which has great historical significance in our country. Investing in our greatest asset means providing quality education and opportunities for all Nigerians. It means making education accessible, inclusive, regardless of social or economic standing. It means equipping our youth with skills, knowledge, character to thrive in an ever-changing world. It is the reason I introduced free education and compulsory primary and secondary education in Akwa Ibom State when I was the governor of the state. Additionally, investing in Nigeria's greatest asset means investing in infrastructure, research, technology, and innovation. These elements play a vital role in unleashing the potential of our people and positioning Nigeria as a hub of innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. By creating an environment that nurtures and embraces innovation, we empower individuals to unlock their full potentials, contributing to the society they serve. We must also acknowledge that investing in Nigeria's greatest asset requires an unwavering commitment to creating an enabling environment for personal and professional growth. This includes fostering a culture of transparency, accountability, and integrity in all sectors of our society. By doing so, we inspire our greatest asset, the Nigerian people, to reach their full potential and excel in their chosen fields. It is therefore crucial that we continue to invest in our people, our nation, brimming with talent, creativity, and innovation that is waiting to be discovered, nurtured, and harnessed. I am proud to inform all of us that the 10th National Assembly is fully minded and totally committed to work with His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his cabinet to ensure that the ideas stated in this goodwill message become reality in our time. This is because by investing in Nigeria's greatest asset, our people, we unlock a wealth of opportunities and possibilities. We empower individuals to contribute to the growth and development of our beloved nation. We create a sustainable future built on strength and capabilities of our people. To the members of the BAREWA College All Boys Association, you carry the torch of excellence, integrity, and service that has been passed down to you from generations before. As an alumni of this remarkable institution, you have a unique responsibility to continue investing in Nigeria's greatest asset, following the tradition and examples of your eminent all boys who have ruled our country and were at the apex of Nigeria's judiciary today. Through mentoring, scholarship, and opportunities, you can make a lasting impact on the lives of countless Nigerians. Let us therefore recognize that investing in Nigeria's greatest asset is more than just an obligation. It is an imperative for nation building together. Let us invest in education, innovation, and infrastructure. Let us empower our youth. Let us nurture talent. Let us cultivate an environment that enables our people to thrive. Let us invest in Nigeria's greatest asset, its people. Thank you and God bless. My name is Adamu Garba. I'm the Senior Legislative Aide to the Office of the President of the Senate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adamu Garba, and our regards and sincere appreciation to the Senate President. Ladies and gentlemen, you will appreciate the fact that the day is far spent, and we ought to have started this program. By circumstances beyond our control, we started very late, where it is well after 2 o'clock now. We will appreciate that. Please, we are going to cut down on the goodwill messages. We still have an important aspect of this program. That is the presentation of the awards, for which many people have been invited from far and near. Please bear and understand with us. Please, 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 and please. Thank you very much. So we just cut down on the goodwill messages, submit them, and we assure you that whatever message is there will well be taken into consideration in this conference. And His Eminence has blessed all of you for all the goodwill messages. He said I should say it in his mouth. So I think we can go ahead, please, so that we go to the next aspect. What other thing? Okay, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, we are sorry we did not recognize you as representative of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation. Okay. So sorry about that. We actually invited all the governors of Nigeria, all the ministers of Nigeria, some of them to support their brother minister, and so many of them are here. We are sorry if we don't identify you in person. Sincere apologies. Let us go on to, I think we are going to the next presentation, to the keynote speaker. Okay. The national president normally does that, isn't it? Or you want?
Okay. You know, the lawyers amongst us, there is a legal maxim that says equity looks as done that which ought to be done. So all those goodwill messages, they are deemed to have been done and done properly. We will take the papers and it will be properly recorded. So we go to appreciations now to distinguish special guests and the guests, of course, including, I'm confused whether it is the guest speaker or just the speaker, to appreciate their presence. Keynote speaker, okay, I think that's better. The president doesn't like guest speaker because he says he's not a guest. He's one of us, so keynote speaker. Oh, okay. It's my honor to invite His Excellency the Chairman, General Yakubu Gawan, to appreciate and encourage this dynamic, young, vibrant member of this family to do more for the country. While the chairman is standing, I would like to invite the representative of the special guest of honor, His Excellency the Vice President, ably represented by Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, to receive the honor on behalf of his principal. I also like to invite the representative of His Excellency the Governor of Borno State, in the person of Senator Kakashehu, to receive on behalf of His Excellency the Governor. I would like to also invite Major General A.T. Jibrin to receive the plaque on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Defense. I would like to request the chairman to take some rest before we come to the other main event. It's my pleasure to invite His Eminence, the Deputy Chairman of our Board of Trustees, to honor the remaining special guest we have. May I invite Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, the representative of the Honorable Minister of Humanitarian and Poverty Alleviation Affairs, to take the recognition on behalf of his principal. May I invite His Excellency, the former governor of Niger State, in the person of Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, Commander of the Order of the Niger and Talban Mina, to the next person is the representative of the Honorable Minister of Special Duties, in the person of Mrs. P.A. Ihujo. May I also invite the representative of the Senate President, in the person of Adamu Garba, to come up and be honored. Finally, on this list, may I call on the President of Saradona Memorial College, in the person of Major General Abdul Malik Jibril. Then we also wish to invite the President of Rumfa College All Boys Association to come and receive the honor. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Your Eminence. Oh, Foreign Affairs Minister.
Foreign Affairs.
Please, sorry, can we get the representative of the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs? As a BAREWA all-boy member by birth, the representative of the Vice President will also receive the plaque in his own right. Okay. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, and thank you very much. We go to the second most important item.
BAREWA College is a college in Zaria, Kaduna State, Nigeria. Founded in 1921 by British Governor General Sir Hugh Clifford. It was originally known as Katsina College. The college had metamorphosed from Kaduna College in 1938 to Government College Zaria in 1949 before settling on BAREWA College as its name, which has remained till date. The BAREWA College Zaria is one of the oldest and largest boarding schools in northern Nigeria and was the most celebrated post-primary schools in the region up until the late 1960s. The school is known for training a large number of elites from the region and beyond. BAREWA College Zaria was first established as Katsina Training College at inception in 1921, essentially to train teachers for the northern province. Then Governor General of Nigeria, in his inaugural speech to the pioneer students, said, and I quote, "It is very necessary that the young men who would receive their training in this college and who will thereafter carry the torch of learning and knowledge to all parts of northern province should concentrate all their energies upon the task that is set on them during their period of training. It will fall on them not only the lessons learnt from the books, but the good manners, the good behavior, courteous deportment, without which book learning is of little worth." End of quote. Thus, BAREWA College became the building ground for young northern boys who will later be a part of the personnel to develop northern province and the base for manpower development for the civil service and other endeavors such as engineering, agriculture, forestry, medicine, and so on. The name BAREWA, which was adopted in 1971, evolved from its symbol, signifying progress in the swift movement of the gazelle. The motto of the school is Manjada Wajada, meaning he who strives shall succeed. All students of BAREWA College were assigned admission numbers from BAREWA number 1 student at inception. Today, there are more than 30,000 admission numbers already assigned and still counting. 102 years after Sir Hugh Clifford's ingenious idea, BAREWA College has become a breeding ground for leaders of note in the country, a fabricating citadel where great minds are forged into future leaders. Major among its alumni were the Sardauna of Sokoto, Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Premier of the Northern Region, Alhaji Tafawa Balewa, Prime Minister of Nigeria from 1960 to 1966. The institution has also produced other notable Nigerian leaders like General Yakubu Gowon, General Murtala Ramat Muhammad, President Shehu Shagari, and President Umaru Yar'Adua. The BAREWA Old Boys Association, BOBA, has provided a platform for social interaction between the past and present students of the college. The annual lecture brings together the alumni of the institution to promote cohesion and togetherness, as well as showcase the examples of BAREWA Old Boys who have made the nation proud in different fields of endeavors. He was a seasoned, celebrated English newscaster and senior programmer and producer. House attended the prestigious BAREWA College in 1920. Boys who have distinguished themselves and written BAREWA name in the sands of time. Here is the list of awardees. The late Alhaji Ahmad Mutaden, BAREWA number 4. Born in 1906 in Dandalin, Uwaria, Dala local government area in Kano State. Attended the prestigious BAREWA College in 1921. He was one of the pioneer students of the college. Ahmed taught English language in Katsina Training College between Atliff in his school days and left an unbroken record for 30 years in Northern Region pioneer students and graduated in 1927, on 14th June 1979. The late Malam Saadu Zungur, BAREWA number 163. Born in Bauchi town on Tuesday, 24th November 1914, he was admitted into the college in 1929. In August 1950, late Saadu Zungur led a faction of radical members of Northern People's Congress (NPC), all of great repute. Saadu Zungur died 1958. Late Alhaji Jimada Pategi Rafi. He promoted adult education and literacy throughout northern Nigeria. Popular Abdurrahman Okene was celebrated for his warm and approachable character. His unique ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds transcended ethnic, religious, and social boundaries. Abdurrahman Okene died on 20th May 1999. The late Malam Nuhu Bamali, CFR, Barewa number 2 and 3, was the son of Yero Ota and grandson of Musa, the flag bearer and the first Fulani Emir of Zauzau, 2001. The late Alhaji Muhammadu Inuwa Wada, CFR, Barewa number 225, born in Kano in 1917, he attended the college between 1933 to 1938, where he was trained as a teacher. Dr. Hassan Gwarzo, first Grand Cadi of his tenure as Minister of Works, witnessed major infrastructure developments, administrator, and was later appointed the chief scribe of Bida Native Authority Administration, an exemplary life, and died on 19 July 1978. Late Alhaji Ahmadu Dayama Rufai, Barewa number 285, born in Misau Town, Bauchi State in 1919. He is another BOBA, having been in the college from 1936 to 1938. A.D. Rufai was known for his impeccable character, integrity, uncompromising posture, and on which the popular AYA area in Asokoro, Abuja, derived its name from one of his companies, Alhaji. A few Nigerians saddled with the responsibility of presenting the Nigerian proper and career image when he was appointed 50. Later, Alhaji Ibrahim Demshida started his career in the private sector with the John Holger, who made significant contributions to various spheres of society. 2007. Late Alhaji Dr. Yahya Hamza OFR, Barewa number 820, born on the 21st July 1935, Alhaji Dr. Yahya Hamza died on 25th August 2015. Late Brigadier General Bamigboyi, Barewa number 1067, born on 7 December 1940 in Umwaro, Kwara State of Nigeria. He attended Barewa College in Zaria in 1954. By the time he was passing out of Barewa College, Zaria, he died on 21st September 2018 at the age of 77 years. The late Dr. Ibrahim Tahir, Barewa number 1069, born in 1938 in Tafawa Balewa, Bauchi State in 1954. He joined Barewa College and graduated in 1958, attended the prestigious Barewa College and graduated. Born on 9th November 1942, popularly referred to as the Doyen of the Bar in Kwara State, is a lawyer, community leader and statesman. He is an indigene of Ilorin West local government area of Kwara State, Tubilo University Zaria. Industry and Cooperation in 1975, on number 1380. Born on 2nd April 1940 in Katsina State, he attended the famous Barewa College in 1960 and obtained his higher school certificate in 1962. General Finance, Katsina State, Fellowship of Christian Students, FCS, where he served between 1993 and 1994. He was also the Katsina State Commissioner of Agriculture between 1994 and 1995. From his pedigree and experience, Alhaji Abu Gidado was appointed the Minister of State Finance in 1995. He was also the Deputy Chairman, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. Chief Cornelius Olatunji Adebayo, Barewa number 1464. Despite all his academic and professional accomplishments, Chief Cornelius Olatunji Adebayo has never hidden his pride as an alumnus of Barewa College, Zaria, where he was a captain of the Lugard House. He was also the president of the Fellowship of Christian Students, FCS. Born on 24th February 1941, Adebayo joined the then University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, as a lecturer. 4 years later, in 1973, Dr. Akpaka Kalu Akpaka, Barewa number 4220, born in Abia State, Nigeria. Dr. Kalu holds a degree in medicine from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and a master's degree in public health from the University of Lagos. A public health expert, development practitioner, and community leader, known for problem-solving and entrepreneurial approaches to health and Barewa College between October 1976 and June 1981. Dr. Lawrence Arguman Sereboy, Barewa number 4284, a Ghanaian. He got admitted into the famous Barewa College, Zaria in 1977. He was the prefect of Malam Smith House in 1980. On completion of his secondary school, he got admission into the Faculty of Medicine, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria in 1983. He relocated in 1992 to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Accra, Ghana, to continue specialization in general surgery. At the National Cardiothoracic Center has served as a visiting scholar center and lectures at the University of Ghana Medical School, Accra. Combines this with the medical director of St. Michael's Specialist Hospital in Accra, Ghana. Professor Abdullahi Ibrahim Musa, BAREWA number 4453. He holds a PhD in Information Management along with Mo State University, where he shapes the institution's trajectory. Alhaji Ibrahim Aminu, BAREWA number 4987. Born on 14th July 1968, he attended BAREWA College, Zaria from 1979 to 1984. After his education, Ibrahim worked in the then cement company of Northern, recorded a 5-year high production and sales by 2020. The cement plant currently has under construction the first coal-fired power plant in contemporary Nigeria. He is a fellow of the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN, and Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN. He is an alumnus of Harvard Business School, Lagos Business School, Barcelona Business School, and London School of Business and Finance. Dr. Hayatu Atiku Awal, BAREWA 5985. Born in Tudunwada district of Kaduna State, he joined the prestigious BAREWA College, Zaria in 1980. His academic qualifications spread was PhD Business Administration, Commonwealth University London, Master's degree, Geography Remote Sensing, FUT, Mina. Dr. Atiku is highly experienced in housing finance, mortgage origination, mortgage workout, and foreclosure. He served as a member, Federal Government Affordable Housing Committee in 2006, Chairman, Mortgage Bankers Association of Nigeria, MBAN. Dr. Hayatuddin Atiku Awal is currently the Managing Director, CEO, FHA Mortgage Bank Limited. He is a traditional title holder as Jamankura.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the summary of the citations of the recipients of these honors today. It's the BAREWA way of doing it. Instead of wasting time reading everybody's citations, actually the citations are contained in the brochure. I am aware that not all of you have, but the full citations are contained in the brochure that are contained in the conference packs. This is just the summary. What we will do next is to call the recipients one after the other, but they will come in groups so that we hasten the time. The Sultan as director will leave here in the next 10 minutes, and I'm a soldier, I have to obey. So what we will do is, as they will call in group, the guest of honors, once we call the group, please try and stand up so that you just come in group and collect it. The numbers are arranged according to the BAREWA numbers from 1921 to 1980. So that is what we want to do now. You've heard the summary. BAREWA All Boys, a BAREWA All Boy gave Abuja. That is Sarki Suleiman Barrow. A BAREWA All Boy gave AYA to Abuja. Edi Rufai. So many things. All of them have one thing or the other they have done for this country. Dr. Akpaka Kalu is coming all the way from the World Health Organization, and we hope for better things for Nigeria through him. This is my brother from Ghana, Ghana man. He actually made a distinction in our class, himself and Dr. Umaru Diko, Dr. Bello Umaru Diko, Mustafa Mamutu. So call out the names quickly. That's how.
Thank you very much, sir. Without further ado, we would like to quickly invite the chairman of this occasion, His Excellency, General Yakubu Gawan, PhD, GCFR, retired. Sir. The first on our list, late Alhaji Ahmed Metadin, B4. So if you are here, come and collect your debt posthumously for the representative of the family of late Alhaji Ahmed Metadin, B4. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Thank you. The next in line is late Alhaji Ali Makama Bida. If the family are here represented, please step forward with all due respect. late Aliyu Makama Bida, B8. Late Alhaji Suleiman Barrow. The family of late Alhaji Suleiman Barrow, the emir that gave us Abuja, the father, the modern father of Abuja, or the father of the modern Abuja, B14. If the family are represented here, please step forward to collect for late Alhaji Suleiman Barrow. Late Malam Saadu Zongor. If the family are here represented, please step forward. Late Alhaji Jimada Pasegi. Late Saadu Zongor is B163. Late Alhaji Jimada Pasegi, B197. If the family are here, please represent. Come for the plaque. Late Dr. Alhaji Abdurrahman Okeni, B198. If the family are here represented, please step forward. Thank you. Late Dr. Alhaji Abdurrahman Okeni. Is the family here represented, please? Next in line is the family of late Alhaji Nuhu Bombali, B213. If the family is represented here, please step forward. Thank you. The family of late Alhaji Inu Awada, B225. Please. Thank you. The next is the family of late Alhaji Ibrahim Tako Galadima, B248. Not there. Yes, I assume we can the next person to help us. Thank you. Ina muka tsaya? Ya isa. Bari su kan. Bari su kan. Ya wai. Thank you very much. We would like His Excellency to please take his seat. The chairman of the occasion, sir. Quickly, we would like to invite our father, the royal father of the occasion, His Eminence, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, the Sultan of Sokoto, for the next presentation. The family of late Alhaji Ibrahim Tako Galadima. If you are here, please step forward. The family of late Alhaji Adi Rufai. If you are here, step forward. Thank you. The family Okay, the next recipient is the family of late Dr. IJD Dolong. Late Dr. IJD Dolong, if the family is represented here, please step forward. Thank you. Late Alhaji Ibrahim Damchila. If the family is here represented, please step forward. Late Alhaji Ibrahim Damchila, B621. Late Chief Sunday Awoni. If the family is represented here, please step forward. Late Chief Sunday Awoni, please. Thank you. Modu. Late Alhaji Yahya Hamza's family, please. Late Alhaji Yahya Hamza's family, please. Late Chief Sunday Awoni's family, please. This is indeed a great honor to all the families of our late elder statesmen. The next is the family of late Alhaji Yahya Hamza. If you are here represented, please, thank you. Step forward. You can see the distinction in the BAREWA connection. Late, the family of late Brigadier General David Bamibwe. Late, the family of late Dr. Ibrahim Tahir. Late Dr. Ibrahim Tahir. Taliban Bauchi. We would like at this juncture to invite our father, an elder statesman, a BAREWA College icon, to give the next award to the families. Dr. Umar Abdul Mutallab, CON. Sir, please. BAREWA legend. Thank you. And the next awardees, or rather recipients, Alhaji Dr. Aliyu Salman, SAN. Is the family represented, please? Any representative from Alhaji Dr. Aliyu Salman, SAN? Inaike. The next is Alhaji Abu Gidado. Alhaji Abu Gidado. Ina Katsinawan ne Alhaji Abu Gidado ku tafa masa mana. Haba. Ko ba za ku masa kara ba ne ba ta duk ɗakin kara. Masha Allah. B1380. Chief Cornelius Olatunji Adebayo. Yana nan? Chief Cornelius Olatunji Adebayo. B1464. As Dr. Mukhtalab takes his seat, we would like to invite our national president, Engineer Dr. Dahiru Ibrahim, to present the next set of awards. This is a wonderful moment, a great moment. History has been made today. We would like Dr. Mukhtalab to please take his seat as we invite our national president, BOBA, Engineer Dahiru Ibrahim, to do the next presentation of the next set of our to our present icons. We have Dr. Akpaka Kalu Akpaka. Congratulations, Dr. Akpaka Kalu Akpaka. B4220. Our consultant surgeon from Ghana, Professor Lawrence Agayeman Serebo, B4284. Congratulations, sir. Great intellectuals. The next is Professor Abdullah Ibrahim Musa, the Vice Chancellor, Kaduna State University. Congratulations, sir. And we have another great icon, of course, of our present day, Alhaji Ibrahim Aminu, FCCA B4987. Congratulations, sir. Alhaji Ibrahim Aminu, FCCA. And we have the last in our set of recipients in the person of Dr. Hayatu Atiku Awal, B5985. Congratulations, sir. The super managing director, all products of BAREWA College. Isn't this lovely? Let's give them a round of applause, please. Thank you. Let me quickly hand over the mic to my Oga. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations. Baba Musi. Congratulations. Baba. Saudi Asa. Okay, can we quickly settle down, please? Can we settle down quickly, please? On behalf of the chairman and members of the Board of Trustees, on behalf of the chairman and members of the Board of Patrons, on behalf of the president and other members of the National Executive Council, I would like to congratulate all the recipients for this distinguished honor. It is my honor and privilege to invite one of the recipients in the person of Chief Colenius Adebayo to come and respond on behalf of his colleague recipients to say a vote of thanks. Ogasa.
On behalf of the leaders and all members of BAREWA Old Boys Association, I have the privilege of coming out here now to thank our leaders, our fathers, our most memorable ruler in Nigeria. Only a few weeks ago, somebody rumored that he was dead. Look at him. You have time, yes, to live, sir. We shall see you again and again at the BAREWA function. Your Majesty, the Sultan of Sokoto, and all leaders who are involved in this program today. It is my pleasure to thank you very, very heartily and to wish you many happy returns of such similar occasions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And thank you, sir. Okay. Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. Let Alhaji Musa Dankoiro for praising this college, and may God continue to bless the college. Alhamdulillah, finally, we're drawing the curtains. And on this note, by the program, the vote of thanks to thank everybody that has found time to be here is supposed to be delivered by our first Vice President in the person of the former Chief of Army Staff, General Alwali Kazir, CFR MNI. Don't be scared by that mask. Nothing is happening. It's just, it's not feeling too comfortable. And to do that on his behalf, the Secretary General of the Association, in the person of Air Vice Marshal Ibrahim Shafir, retired, will offer the vote of thanks. AVM.
It's an order. Mr. The chairman of this occasion, our Father General Yakubu Gawan, His Eminence the Sultan, the representative of the special guest of honor, the keynote speaker, members of the Board of Trustees, members of the Board of Patrons, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the National Executive Committee of BAREWA All Boys Association and all its other associates, we wish to most sincerely thank each and every one of you for finding time to be with us today. This is what we have been doing in the last 28 years, and we hope to continue doing it, inshallah. We thank all of you that have in one way or the other supported this project. There are so many of them. I know we wrote so many letters to so many people. We have received responses from some. We are still awaiting the responses of others. This particular program may be over, but BAREWA, BOBA is continuing. So we are still counting on the support of all those that are yet to identify with this project to please do so. The day is fast spent. There is nothing much more to add, but to wish all of you safe travels and journey mercies back to your respective destinations. It is not easy to call and identify each and every one of us. All of you are very, very special, and you are well recognized, and we thank you for identifying with us. We look forward to seeing you at AGM in March, the first quarter of next year, inshallah. Thank you very much, and may the Almighty bless all of you. Is Bishop Adere Lesalako around? Bishop Adere Lesalako? Bishop Adere Lesalako is to give the closing prayer. Is he around? Is Pastor John Omokaro here? The Sultan has directed that our former first vice president, who the only team man that I've identified in this place around all the Fulanis here, Chief Raymond Ihembe, should give us the honor of the closing prayer. Chief Raymond Ihembe, sir.
Let's say a few small prayer to close the event. We thank the Almighty for granting us long days to come and see today. Many of us thought that this was far away, but it has come and it has passed. And by the will of the Almighty, everything passes. So we thank those who have found the time to organize this. We thank our leaders. We thank those who have come from far away, like myself from Lagos. We thank those who came by road. It's all by the will of the Almighty Allah. So we praise Him and thank Him and ask Him to keep us till next year, and that may He continue to shower His blessings on BAREWA College, on our all members. We ask Him to abide with us as we return home, abide with our families, and grant us His mercies. Amen.
The national anthem. Gentlemen, there is large refreshments at the foyer for those who may have the opportunity to attend to it.
And let me take this